Yo guys, welcome. Got a treat for you. Gonna have a short discussion video, and I haven't gave it. Well, I'm gonna actually release this video on my YouTube channel and not my Eve channel, uh, on my Star Trek Online, because I want some people to see this, because I'm kind of done with it. We're gonna address some conversation pieces, and we're gonna confront what's going on again. Let's get down this option real quick. Let's do that. I think that'd be better. Well, I don't have to raise my voice over the game sound. That being said, let's get this show started. Let's talk about the title of the video today. The Constitutional Miracle Worker 3. I like it. There's some things I don't like about it. First off, let's go into the trait real quick. No lockout. This is huge for anybody who's doing a lot of PvPing. That 20% bonus is huge, especially with the defense. And yeah, it's a fun trait, especially because it's bonus damage. Remember, guys, like preferential targeting, I think it's like category 2 damage because it's this overall base damage increase. But when you get in a bonus, it's bonus everything. That's what you want. You want a lot of bonus damage. You want good weapon specialization numbers, but you want some bonus damage. Stations. This is how I'm running mine. I'm not gonna lie, I find it a very, very awesome torp boat, especially with using like a chemosite and best served cold. Really good build. Really good build. What I like about it is literally you change that out right there. With a mercy power to Ox and Lambda 3, your perception goes up there pretty high, and if you really need a crap ton more perception, I recommend just throwing this baby on there. Where is she at? She's like a plus 76, and then you're a Snoop Cruiser with rhythmic rumble. And see, a lot of people don't realize this, but rhythmic rumble is huge, and not because of the res, but I think because of the weapon power saving cost, especially on a cruiser. Let's take a look at that real quick. I love that. Yummy weapons power cost. Okay, that being said, trait's awesome, ship's awesome, totally overpriced. It is literally going to be around. If you open the box this weekend, you're going to get a bonus to open the box. You're going to win the ship easier. It's going to be a lot less. It's going to be around $60, maybe $80. They're really showing some love on that little bonus there. I will give them that. That's the only positive thing you'll hear me say about a dev in this video. That being said, I like it. Like I said, I'm using it kind of like it's just a clean cruiser torp. You know, I'm not even using no untargetable abilities. I had it in PvP earlier today. Are you gonna be able to? And don't use this. Don't use that. And don't use that. Don't be like me and try stupid stuff. That being said, because I was trying out the trait, and I wanted to see how much defense, and I can get my defense around 220 now on a cruiser, which is pretty cool if you think about it, but almost useless. Don't be like me. Build normal. That being said, I like the ship. I love it. It reminds me of before things got all super untargetable, super just dirty. You know what I'm saying? When the game was still fun. The only time you had to worry about being locked out of targeting is when someone had, you know, Oxtabat and competitive shield, and they ran scrambled sensors, sometimes a jam, which scrambles way better than jam. But anyways, we're not talking about dating. That's my attempt at a joke. But overall, it's a great ship. I hated the bridge. The bridge customization, just throw a 23rd Century Galaxy bridge on there, you'll be alright. Also, what I liked about this ship is you can adjust the skins where you can use the best of skins. Say if you don't have a lot of money and if you don't want to spend like $8-9 into lithium, to get the vanity shields when they go on sale to the lithium market. You can use the Vesta, especially if you're a side player. I always love the Vesta ships, by the way. And you can use the Vesta skins on that ship, and it could go all black or it can go all blue. There's a lot of outside customizations to it, but inside it, I had to put it, old school, next Star Trek Next Gen bridge on it. But anyways, tongue tied. Blah. Uh, how's it doing battle? Like right now is one of the most highest revs, and this is out not with me doing anything. I'm not. And see, I'm using synthetic good fortune right here. Within about 45 seconds of battle, I get this up to about 60. And when this is sitting at 60, and you got like upwards of almost 200 in critical severity, especially when I'm like this, usually I'll drop either evasive tactics, and I'll run this little bugger right here, because I like that critical severity. And the res numbers look static. Just using DPRM and one Tribranium, I'm looking at 50 res. And 158, that's not even me doing nothing yet. We'll just let this sit out here for a minute while we're talking about stuff. Something else too. Another reason why I'm making this video, it ain't about the Constitution Mailwork. It's like I want to give my version of Star Trek Online update, and where I think things have gotten worse, things have gotten better. That being said, let me turn down this audio a little bit where y'all get more of my more me and less all that, because I don't mind a little bit, but it's pretty loud. That being said, there we go, better. I wanted to give my version of how things are going in Star Trek Online. And 2 years ago, you would have asked me, David, do you regret spending $30,000 on a video game? And I'd be like, oh hell no, it's worth every dime. And yeah, I've spent that much money on this game. I own every ship in game times 5. That being said, I think that's what, about 45 seconds in, and we're already up to 30. Notice that right there, guys. And like I said, longer I stay in combat, better off I am. About I think it's about 2 minutes into it, 3 minutes into it, I'll get up to 40. Especially if you're using well, look, I'm already at 40 right there. Well, I dropped down quick. But anyways, that's my build on that. And I'm doing like anywhere from about 100,000 critical hit to 60,000, depending on if I hit with a torp or a beam. But I'm using beam or range, if y'all can't tell. I'm only using one dual bleeding beam. MC Stu tried to do a review on this ship, and he didn't have it yet, so I thought I'd go ahead and put it out there. It is a great ship. Is it gonna hold up against a legendary Jem'Hadar? No. And you know what? The bad thing about this is this costs twice as much as a legendary Jem'Hadar. But yeah, because of what the devs have done with untargetability, and especially if you take like this one trait, and they need something to counter this one trait, by the way. It's kind of jacked up, because as of right now, there's really nothing that can counter it. You're just done. If you combo, there's 2 or 3 consoles that actually make you unkillable and untargetable. There's actually 4 of them. You'll see a big old engineering guy, like, let's just say, Evil Dawn of the Hobos. A lot of them run untargetable builds or unkillable builds. Yeah, Troyes Protocol, which I love that console on a cruiser, Believe it or not, I have it in my inventory. That's crazy, but I do. Oh wait, I own every shipping game. It's not crazy. Where's it at? Where's it at? Well, let's do this. Right there. Booyah. Choice protocols. And once you gotta look at that is your stealth. They won't be able to hit you. They will not be able to hit you while you're underneath that. And you get a 125%. Yeah. 30%. This right here is a great console. But what a lot of guys are doing, they're comboing a lot of untargetable, like the Alachi Rip console. Yeah, that Alachi Rip console needs a nerf. It's one of the event ships, and they will just spam that thing because it's got like a 1 minute recharge on it or something like that. They will just spam it, and literally they'll hit their untargetable active temporal surge, and then they'll hit that Alachi jump slip console, and then it'll just jump around everywhere, bro. And that's just some of the stuff that I think the devs did on purpose to kill the game. Right now, 2 or 3 devs went to work for this one company. They rumor has it there's a war of Star Trek games going on. You say, well, that's a good thing. I'm like, no, not necessarily. Yeah, there's people paying for licensing agreements, but some companies like Star Trek Resurgence is sticking to pure canon builds. They're not doing all this made up stuff. It's actually real Star Trek. And some of our devs love Star Trek, or they think they love Star Trek, but especially a lot of the older devs from Perfect World, not Gearbox. Only thing I can say about Gearbox is all of my tickets are going to Solved. I spent almost 40 grand with this company. It just goes to Solved. I'll put in a ticket right now and prove it to you guys. I don't see nothing's really changed. Not one bit. My cell phone's going off, guys. That being said, the devs have let me down. Between all this untargetable mess, and then them breaking trauma response, the trade off that one miracle worker science ship with a little ball on the front of it. It's pretty cool. It's a nice ship, not bad trade. Basically they left it broke for 8 months to get you to buy a ship. And then this time I joined the Terrans, Terran fleets, or the Terran battle group, or it's just the organized PvP channel. And Mercenary was on my friends list, NoCo was on my friends list, Danny was on my friends list. All these guys were on my friends list, right? Yeah, they was on my friends list for almost a year. Well, I removed Mercenary was the first one I removed because I kind of had a gut feeling about people, you know what I'm saying? Removed him first. And then I started noticing, Danny and everybody in the group, they would all say they're better than the hobos or the hack pandas, and they say they're the better group of people, and they will actually try to appeal to other people and recruit other people on the grounds. Oh, we're the nice guys. There's snakes in the grass. The only one I'm have any respect for is probably Danny. And me and him, I've known Danny for about 3 or 4 years, and I've talked to him several times. He's a really nice guy, really good kind of Canadian dude. You don't want to he doesn't want to be offensive, but he doesn't want to hear a whole bunch of bull crap either. But anyways, he's just a nice guy. He don't want to get in the middle of it. Well, he created this whole Terran society where Captain Proton and everybody, and they all said they were better than the Klingons. But you know what they do? They do the exact same thing as the Klingons. Like the political landscape in the United States, there is no right or left. There is no Democrat Republican Party. There is no bad or good. It's just cluster fudging. Yeah, I didn't want to cuss in this video. That being said, why I'm upset and bad mouthing PvP groups in a whole. First off, I want to address the situation Mercenary and not just the one said I've been kicked out of every fleet in Star Trek Online. Hmm. I I don't think that's exactly true, homie. Um, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Um, he went and told Mercenary told not just the one and a whole bunch of people in Karat the other day that I was kicked out of these groups and I'm this horrible player. I don't know what I'm talking about. And this all stems from me saying my account's been nerfed by devs. And everybody's like, well, Bash, why do you say that? Well, when I first started playing Star Trek Online, it was in beta. I knew this guy named Brand Flakes. My wife knew him. We shared an account because when the game first started, we didn't know how long Star Trek Online was going to last. So me and my wife shared an account. I had it too, and she had it too. She was actually better than me in PvP. Well, Brand Flakes followed that girl around, who's in military and active duty right now, by the way. Followed her around and called her a fat gay man for about 3 weeks in Karat. Had all the hobos and all these 7 and 9 eunuch and everybody, and especially a lot of the older elitist PvPers. Everybody, when Brand Flakes started dumping on my wife and me, all of them jumped on. I got it on video. A dev followed around a customer for months trolling them because my tune handle was named Bash the Stampede. 3 devs want to use my handle, but since I'm using it, a lot of people are like, well, Bash is the worst, Bash is the worst. Then why in the hell are you trying to force me out of the game over a game handle? Then they trolled me for a while, and then they said I wasn't married. They found out I was. Then they found out, I told everyone I lived on a military base because they thought I was lying about it. They thought I was lying about being in the military. They actually accused me of stolen valor. There's 12 videos on YouTube accusing me of stolen valor, which is a felony, by the way. The devs let that player stay in the game. The devs let that player, Eunuch, who said this man deserves a bullet to the head, stay in the game. They let Siler stay in the game when he called me a fake Jew without even knowing me. They let Siler stay in the game when he asked my 15-year-old son, did he like to drink cum? They accused me of not, I had cancer, and then they accused me of not having cancer. And the funny part is one day I was in Karat, 7 of 9, everybody, Q-Tip, everybody was in the zone. And I was really proud. I just got my light sports pilot license, and I bought my first plane about 6-7 years ago. And needless to say, I bought a Cessna J150. It was like $16,000. It needed new avionics and it needed some maintenance, but I got my first plane for 16,000. It doesn't take a lot of money to be a pilot, guys. And going back to the story, we was in Karat. I was bragging about being a pilot, and they said, "You're not a pilot. You're not a pilot. You're not a pilot." Well, I ain't gonna lie. Instagram and Imager, I had the same picture on Imager too. And believe it or not, and I posted the same picture on a Facebook group too. The hobos found me down through Facebook, and I put that link on that picture, and then they found the link on the picture, but I had about 400 pictures. One of the pictures were of my medical marijuana license for my cancer and chemotherapy, which they said I didn't have. So instead of them apologizing for years saying I lied about my cancer, which I didn't, they used a picture, and you had to zoom in this picture to get the information off of it, bro. This was not an easy picture. And then Q-Tips me, personally, he emails me my social security number in game. I never linked nothing in game. If I did, I would have been banned. I got banned and muted for typing WTF. My exact comment was, WTF, why lie on people? That got me muted, while the dude who was lying and trolling got to keep on talking. But you want to say I passed off personal information in a game. Kind of ironic, you know. I say WTF, get muted. They can threaten to shoot me. They can ask my son if he likes to come. Dude, some of the... Just go watch some of my videos on YouTube, gentlemen. You understand why I get upset. Well, flash forward to 2 days ago. I'm in Karat. Back to Mercenary. Noko, Not This the One. A couple guys were in there, and they were all talking shit on their little private channels here. You know, everyone has a private channel. I don't participate in none of that monarchy. It's monarchy, all of it. Period. That being said, when I was in Karat the other day, I was talking about, you know, I have disabled hands. I've been a mechanic my whole entire life. Been in 3 or 4 car wrecks where my hands just got just pulverized, and they move, and I got some feeling in them, but they got a nerve tick. Especially when I get my high blood pressure goes up, my hand shake a little bit, and I won't even realize it's shaking, and I won't it lose some feeling. It's kind of screwed up, but you know, it still works. That being said, I'm not as fast as everybody, and I know I'm not as fast as everybody, and I was trying to explain that. Mercenary made a comment, and this is how fucked up these people are, by the way. Sorry for cussing, but this is bad. He's like, I thought you were disabled, Bash, with 8 kids. How can you have a job? Because I told him I own 2 companies, a car shop and aviation sales and leasing. Basically, every pilot has to stay in the air. I own 3 planes. I lease them out to my friends and rent them out to my friends where they can keep their hours up, where they get to keep their license and they get to move on with their training. Because believe it or not, once you own a plane, you can control your training schedule and you can advance a lot faster than you can if you went through a traditional school or something like that. That being said, I lease it out to my friends. I don't make a lot of money, like 80, 85, 80, maybe 90 a year off of that, and about 95 to 100 after I pay the bills on the car shop. You know, he acts like disabled people can't work, or disabled people can't have kids. His exact words, Mercenary's exact words was, I thought you're disabled. I'm like, yeah, so why can't I be disabled and have a job, Mercenary? He was up there with Hotkey, 7 to 9. I'm just getting sick of him. And you know what the bad part is? Mercenary was on my friends list. Every one of those Terrans were on my friends list. And they're just as bad. They're hanging out with people and like Mercenary was trying to befriend everybody in his own and be cool and be popular by throwing someone else under the bus. This is the type of people that's in the Terran high society. This is the type of people that's in Star Trek Online. They'll accuse you of being a child molester. They'll accuse you of being a money launderer. They'll accuse you of selling drugs. They'll accuse you of anything. And you reply one time, you get labeled a troll. The devs don't listen. All the tickets go to Solved. I'm hoping, I'm making a copy of this video, and I'm actually sending it to Gearbox's home office in Houston, Texas, by the way. Y'all don't know this, but Gearbox is based out of Texas. God bless Texas. But anyways, yes, the southern part of my Jewish side come out of me. But anyways, yeah, it's funny because my family immigrated from Budapest, Hungary, by the way, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of my mom's heritage, and yeah, her whole family line. It's pretty cool. And I'm proud of my dad's side, who immigrated from Dublin, Ireland. A Jew and a Catholic met in Kentucky. That's how Bash the Stampede was born. But anyway, like I said, I'm just astounded that we spend thousands of dollars on this game. Our tickets don't get answered. We get crappy service. And this is all coming out of California. If Gearbox Publishing wanted to save this game, they would move. I don't care if they have to physically take down the game. Move the servers to Texas and get it out of the hands of these idiots. Right now, Star Trek Resurgence is online. It's a new Star Trek game, by the way. It does not look good at all. Actually, it looks like a bad PlayStation 3 game, but believe it or not, I enjoy playing it. 40% of their customers are Star Trek Online people who have given up on the game because of woke crap. And then once you deal with the woke crap, you got people trying to make themselves bigger in the game. Like, they'll form these little groups, and yes, they'll be really good at PvP. I'm not going to take that away from them. I never wanted to be the best. I got damn jacked up hands. I'm never gonna win the Tour de France or win the best typing award. I'm never gonna be certain things, and I'm okay with that. But these guys, they're gonna judge you by how you play a game. Q-Tip, 709, Danny, NoCo, they're all gonna judge you. And here's the messed up part about that. Endeavor's point systems. This Endeavor point system was upheld by the old guard. And you know why? Because they don't want new players catching up to them. They don't want new players to be able to copy their build, because then they'll notice some of the DPS mechanics ain't exactly right in the game. Just saying. The other day I went to a PvP zone. All of my tactical consoles were grayed out. The stat was there, but my beam was doing base damage. Let me talk about skill tree real quick, and I'll show you what I'm running on my skill tree. Yeah, I was a little mad when my beam array was doing 153 on a critical hit. But anyways, I'm digressing. I know my account's been nerfed by devs. I know it has. I've proved it several different times. For God's sakes, when I'm in my legendary Jem'Hadar attack ship, every time I hit red alert, my ship stops. Even though I have the UI, red alert UI off on game settings, my ship stops. On an escort. I mean complete stops. That's normal, right? It's normal to see that it says you have shields up, but the damage goes right through it, and they're not using, superior aerial now. They're not using none of the shield pin, or even remotely a shield pin based weapon system, like the Lance, like right here. Where's it at? There's actually trinary laced weapons. This one right here. 47 shield regen and 47 shield hardness. You can pick up a lot of shield pin. They're not using those, and you can tell by their weapons procs. My shields won't be on there. I'll use engineering team, or I'll use side team at the right moment, and it will not clear. And this is what we spend thousands of dollars on, to deal with elitist buttholes. Who's gonna rag you? Who's gonna call you a chomo? The first time they don't like something you say, they're all gonna turn against you like a mob. And what's the messed up part about this is those so educated California devs hasn't figured it out. It's a principle in business. When you pit people against each other, you cancel each other out. That means, yes, you'll see an initial income burst, but eventually that player is going to hate that player, and they're going to learn to hate the game. You know why Star Trek Online was such a success in its younger years? Because it was a real community. When we first started playing beta, a lot of nice guys, like Lightning at Roberts. He was an old school PvP guy. Me and him never saw eye to eye, but he was never this toxic player. Yoda, the original Yoda, who got banned from the game because he literally did the exact same thing the people in his fleet was doing. There's been people removed from this game unfairly, a lot, by unfair devs. My tickets don't get answered to this day. And by the way, when I send this down to Houston, I'm going to send a screenshot and a video of my email on my ticket log. No, this ain't. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to have to deal with toxic players backstabbing, and these people will pretend to be so nice. That's why I'm so mad at the Terrans. You know, at least Q-Tip and all them, they were trolls from the get-go. You knew what they were. But Danny and him, Captain Proton, he says, I'm the one of the better PvPers in the game, but he has to use trauma response in 101s to win. And his excuse is, oh, the devs left it here. If the devs left a gun on the ground, would you pick it up and shoot yourself? Because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And 6 months ago, everyone was using trauma response but me. Everyone, even Danny. That's why I left Danny's server. About a week before this organized PvP event, I looked at Danny. I'm like, dude, I thought you guys said y'all were better than that. And then I listed the players who were using. And in Danny's defense, Danny only used it, tested, played around with it for a little bit, and he wouldn't use it honestly that much. But Captain Proton, everyone else was the best in the game, using the most brokest and the most. And what you got to say, and what that says about a game, is these people are going to cheat in a kid's game. These people are going to use exploits and then look down on other people because they think they're better at a game because they're using cheats or they're using an exploit. That's Star Trek Online. It ain't about gaming. It's about calling your opponent a chomo, calling your opponent a stolen valor, calling your opponent a drug dealer. That's what Star Trek Online has devolved to. You want to know why I haven't made a video about Star Trek Online? Name one thing good about it right now. Endeavor Point system, which was supported by the old guard and the old devs. And even when Gearbox took over, Gearbox was even like, this is going to be hard on everybody. This is a huge grind. They wanted to cap it. They doubled down and defended something that prevents us from having new elite players. An average person's going to take 1.5 to 2 years to finish that. It takes 3 days for me to get one Endeavor Point. There's 360 of them. Unless you don't have a job and you stay at home and you never invest real money in a game, this right here is a screwing. This is the biggest middle finger to all the guys who work and can't play but an hour or two every other day. That Endeavor Point system was the biggest FU to paying customers I've ever seen. And then this untargetable mess. They doubled down on it. They didn't fix it. They didn't even give you a counter. Shit, they could have created a battery that broke untargetable. Think about that. You don't have to have a new bridge officer ability. They could have gave you a battery that we could have bought with the lithium or whatever to break untargetable. But they didn't. They left it in the game. That's why you see little tiny escorts with 60,000 holes vaporizing a 200,000 hole ship. It's just nuts. It's not supposed to happen. But hey, in Star Trek Online, where the forums have been controlled by this same group of people for 7 years, and anyone posts something that they don't like, they're trolled. I don't care what you. Some of the guys are pretty nice on the forums, and some of the moderators have gotten better. But no. Same reason why the Endeavor Point system's still around. Same reason why they allowed teams in Karat. See, in Karat I always felt like, when we used to go into Karat about, 6 years ago, it was one that you didn't come in there with your team. You go in there to prove something to yourself, not your group. And then they gave all this team bonus stuff, fleet bonus stuff, and all this other stuff based on your group size. So Star Trek Online is not based on skill anymore. It's based on your group. Period. How long you can stay untargetable and flank. That's the game. They screwed side carriers without giving them a secondary deflector. They're crap. They screwed engineers. Oh my god. I know a lot of good engineers, and some of them like, hey, I like engineer playing on Star Trek Online. But no, bro. They screwed them. It's just like they screwed side. Gradwell. Nerfed. Nerfed. Oh my god. They have nerfed. They silent nerfed that Gradwell 4 or 5 times, and then they nerfed the red Gradwell. Then they nerfed TBR. Then they nerfed feedback pulse. Just where all these side vapors can run around. 37% of the main tunes running around back in the day were size. About 36% engineers, the rest were tax. Now we have engineers and tax, and you got maybe a handful of size, really good size, that are actually doing some decent damage. The side numbers have went down. If anyone asks me the difference, just go look at a normal PvP. Size have gotten better because of things, synthetic good fortune, and a lot of other little really cool benefits. But overall, it hasn't never recovered. Look how many new tunes are created, right? Most main tunes are tactical tunes now. And unlike 5 years ago where people were completely filling out a tune, now we got people who will never ever complete a tune. The game's in a bad place, guys. From the PvP elitist groups. And by the way, I was never kicked out of the hobo fleet. I left. I had 23 pack. I had like 23 ships packed lobby on my Klingon tune one time. I put like 3 of them because my inventory was full in the hobo fleet bank. I logged on the next day. They were gone. I asked who took them out, and then I checked the log. I asked everybody again, who they all said they didn't do it, even though the log said they did it. If you look at the hobo leaderboard, I gave 1.3 million in a year. Let's just do this real quick. I've been in Collective Armada for 1 year and a little bit. Let's go see. Yeah, about 2 years now. I've been in this fleet for 2 years. I'm also in 3 other tier 5 fleets. And yeah, it just a lot of the guys that I hang out with now, they don't want nothing to do with PvP. And the sad part is, and if you're a dev, this should worry you. This should scare the crap out of you, because people like Siler, people like Mercenary, people like Jacob, Evil Dawn, 7 and 9, Eunuch, just the list goes on, Q-Tip. Those are the people who are actually really hurting the game. But the devs value them more than normal players. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. I want to be friends with this group, and I don't care if it costs the company money. That's what they're doing. That's how Q-Tip, I proved on video, Q-Tip P'd in my social security number. I never linked nothing in game. Nothing. They found out who I was from a Facebook post. I joined the Star Trek Online Facebook group. And one of the admins of the Facebook group was a hobo. They gave him my real name. I had 343 pictures on my Facebook account. Remember how I told you they said I didn't have cancer? Well, I did. They got my number off of Social Security, medical marijuana form, and it was in the top corner, and you had to zoom in on it. I never linked it in game, but 12 people all lied and said I did, even though I proved it on video. Even when Q-Tip PM'd me, I screenshotted Q-Tip PM'ing me. The devs let them stay in game. I got banned and muted for typing WTF. but he gets to spam people's social security numbers in game and get away with it because a group of people lied for him? That's Star Trek Online. Let's talk about legendary ships here. Because, you know, this is really what's bothering me. You know, everyone's like, well, that was like $80. I bought quite a few of them. The money you spend, like on the legendary ones, like if I go to my ships here, I don't know. Have I bought everything in game, guys? Hmm. There's only one. The only one ship I'm missing on this account is the new Vesta, the legendary Vesta, but it's like $174. You know, I have the money to spend on the game, but I don't want to spend it on the game anymore. For what? Devs who don't listen? Devs who don't protect their own customers? Devs that literally build walls to stop new players from reaching new elite levels. And that's what the Endeavor point system is. Most players, faced with the amount of rep we have alone. Alright, if we were talking tier 5 rep, you're talking tier, even if you level, that's 6 months. 6 months to a year if you play casual, like once every 3 days. They added years on tuning completion. We won't never have no more elite players or elite people anymore, besides the ones we got. And the devs, even if those guys are true blue pieces of crap that lie on everybody, God's sakes, they lied on me so much. You know, everyone gets grief. Danny gets confused because, no, it was me who followed around. They followed my wife around. They followed my kid around. They followed me on Facebook. They called my house. They made videos about me on YouTube and saying I committed stolen valor. And then when they found out that I did live on base and I was a Navy veteran, did they even apologize? Did they apologize to the 12 other disabled Navy veterans they ran out of the game when I went off on them? Because one of my best friends lost his hand in Iraq, literally messed up, lost a hand. Pretty fucked up. Actually, it was a machinist of all things. He dropped literally a piece of machinery on his hand, cut it off. Well, he was out of the military, and he played Star Trek Online, and he had a hard time using the mouse. And we got him worked out, but he's like me. We're good, but we won't never be that elite category because, you know, we got some physical disabilities. It's not something we're all happy about, but it is what it is. We're not mad. They trolled that man and said he was a piece of shit because he couldn't play the game. The dude literally served 18 years in the military and lost his hand for our country. But Siler and all of them can call him a bad guy. And here comes the Terrans, pretending to be the nice guys, flying with the dudes who are trolling disabled Navy vets. I'm mad at Danny. I'm mad at the Terran High Society. I'm mad at the hobos. I'm mad at everybody. Because you know what? Your elitist behavior has killed our game. Your domination, trying to make yourself better than everyone because of a kid's game. You know what's funny is Siler, all of them know where I live at now. You know what I'm saying? Because once you've been doxxed, homie. I live in a $750,000 house beside the ocean. Come find me. I mean, I'm not even hiding anymore. But these same dudes that said, "Oh, I put a bullet in his head. I'll do this." The same dudes that jumped on my Discord wall. You should read what they put on my Discord. I left it up. And anyone who wants to see what these disgusting people said on my Discord, give me a shout. And you'll ask yourself, how are these people still in the game? If the devs are not involved. If the devs ain't nerfing accounts. I want to talk to you about something real quick. I run a Corsair keyboard. Basically, it's a pretty nice keyboard. I remember I told you I've been dabbling with macros and keybinds in the last couple of years. Gotten pretty decent at them, by the way. My DPS has gone up dramatically. That being said, I'm still in. But watch how fast that is. Watch the B. Because that's how I got my shields distributing power and my spam bar, right? When I go into Karat, it goes half that speed. And only when I'm in a PvP zone does it do that. When I'm in literally anywhere else, my keyboard's working at the correct speed. But the moment I get into a PvP zone, my frame rate's cut, everything cuts. Literally, my ship will come to a complete stop during red alerts. Every time a Borg even touches me, my ship will stop, and I'll have control at 500 using pilot team and immersive powered engines with evasives, and it will still stop. I don't know, man. Is that a nerf? Is it a nerf when, they allow that much harassment on you for 9-10 years? When I can prove employees of the original Cryptic Studio and some of the friends of that guy is still at Perfect World or Gearbox California now, I can prove they don't like me. I can prove they let their friends stay in the game. I can prove they didn't do their job. You know what you gotta ask yourself is, where's your video proof of me cussing people at? Where's your video proof of me calling someone a convicted felon? Where's your proof of me saying anything that they... I've never called no one a chomo. I never called no one a drug dealer. I never called no one a money launderer. I never called none of these people have. But they'll say that stuff to me to get me upset, to report me. Back to the other day, Mercenary was trolling me to get me upset, where I would say something personal on Zone Chat to report me. Why I say this is, remember how I brought up the pilot experience? They called me a liar about that when I went to prove them wrong. They used the information I used to prove them wrong, as in, to screw me. But anyways, that being said, I find it really hard when I see the Terran High Society, Mercenary, supposed to be this nice guy, provoking people to report them. If you're good, Mercenary, you don't have to lie to everybody and tell me I got kicked out of the Terran. I left you guys because you're double standards. You're hypocrites. You throw a man under a bus just to get befriended by others? I hate to meet you in real life, people. Everybody asks me, like, why don't I want to meet some of these people? Because I used to go to Star Trek conventions. I love the conventions, bro. I used to go to Vegas every year. I used to get the devs drunk. Yeah, I'd party with like 9 devs in Las Vegas. I put that on my daddy's grave. I got pictures. That being said, I don't do it no more. They ruined it for me. Everybody asks me why don't I do a lot of more videos on my Eve channel. Believe it or not, some of my friends were getting into Star Trek Online about 2 years ago, really hardcore. They had a lot of the shows were coming on New Discovery and Card, and there was some good stuff. And even though it was woke, it was getting some attention to the game. And after they started playing the game, dude, every one of them came to the same conclusion. I'm not spending $2,000 to be trolled by some loser spamming crap on a team. This ship right here is $200, and it's gonna lose to some jackbutt and an escort throwing untargetable nonsense everywhere. I still love that. That's why I love this cruiser. With, like I said, even with that deflector, look at that number. That's pretty cool. And this will get all the way up to 50 in combat. But that's my whole review take on this. The new advanced consoles. I actually got one right here for you guys. Yet again, I think it's just a cheap ploy to get people into uh, doing this something with the R&D consoles instead of revamping the system and doing something a little bit better that honestly made it less complicated and made it more easier. All right, let's go into R&D. I'll explain it to you guys real quick. We'll craft some stuff real quick. We'll go down here to science because I have. Oh wait a minute, babe. Whoa. Advance, yes. Aw, I'm out. Dang it. I've already crafted one of them. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see if I have another. But I think once you did the advanced shield thing, you don't get to do any other consoles. I did science like an idiot. But you only get those advanced those materials either through the exchange, which I guess if you're a crafter you can do that to get it free. But to me, it's just a stupid ploy to prop up a R&D system that is overly complicated, just like our rep and just like the Endeavor points. Everything is overly complicated in this game. I actually don't hate the skill tree. I don't hate the, and that's something else you got to think about too. We're not even talking. We got reputation, Endeavor spec points, plus specialization. Because each one of these have to be filled out. Every one of them. Because at one point in time, you're going to need every one of these. And these take about 8 months to do. I mean, even if you do it, even if you level, alright, even if you level a tomb, you're only going to get enough to fill up maybe, let's say command, because command is the only way we can shed this ice crap, right? This little baby right here. Trust me, lifesaver, booster morale. You level a tune all the way, you'll barely get to here time you hit level 60. Think about that now. Because then it's going to take you another 4 months to do this. Another 4 or 5 months to do this. And what, a year? Do the math. If you only get 1 point every 2 days, if you're lucky and you log on every day, 1 point every 2 days. Tell me that's not crazy. No one's going to have elite tunes. And who did this? The devs. No one's going to finish it. They're going to quit the game. So you ask me my thoughts on the game. Toxic PvP community with devs who got their head in the sand or up a woke turkey's butt. You know what I'm saying? And this the mob mentality. Honestly, I've been in 127 fleets. I have built, I think, no, I didn't build Collective Armada. Let me say this: they built this on their own. I joined afterwards. Actually, Digger, Talara, and a Trip. They worked all really hard on this. So I'm not gonna take that away from them. And to this day, if y'all need a really good community without the toxicity, with good, we be crap talking. You know what I'm saying? We be having a lot of fun, but we don't be doing it like how they do it. If you want a group to hang out with, go log on to Collective Armada. Go look for Digger at Down Digger or Trip. Notice the names on this list right here. These guys are all important. Jericho, he's a really nice guy. Get a hold of these guys and join our group, because I'm gonna tell you now, I've never had a problem in 2 years out of this group. Not one. Not one. But I've been kicked out of every fleet. Well, that's my little whole spew on the whole Miracle Worker Constitution Class 3 and the state of affairs in Star Trek Online. Don't do it. It's a waste of money, a waste of time. And then you're going to befriend someone and they're going to screw you over like Mercenary did me. And by the way, apparently the people of Star Trek Online don't think disabled people can hold a job and have kids. I swear to God, Mercenary, call me a liar. I will do my next video and screenshot what you said. You throw people underneath the bus, Mercenary, and claim to be their friend, or claim to be in the same group with them, and you're just a fake piece of crap. You know, I might be a lot of things, but ask Danny this one thing. If I'm mad, I'm mad. If I call you a friend, I call you a friend. And all these people, every one of these people, every one of them, I mean, all of them are my friends. So you go ahead, tell people I don't have friends. I do have friends, and I won't never betray them by being fake and disingenuous like most of Danny's group in the Terrans now. Danny started that group because y'all are supposed to be better than the hobos and the hack pandas and all these other crap holes. Y'all turned out to be just like them. Trauma response using, throwing players underneath the bus. Bunch of sad, pathetic, toxic honkies. But you know what? Ask Danny this. I'm going to get my SRT Dodge Charger Hellcat. I'm going to go do some burnouts. I'm going down here and get my plane. And I'm going to think about Q-Tip and how broke he is and how much I get to laugh at him. Because at the end of the day, all these guys in this game judge people by how you do in a game. And that's not right. They call people retarded. They get this elitist idea like, I'm better than you. And what? Because you're good at Star Trek Online? Good for you. Doesn't give you a right to be a piece of shit. This is Vasha Stampede. I want to wish everybody a great day and have a great game. For real. Like and subscribe. Watch my other videos. I'm out of here, people. I've wasted your time long enough.